25, Gaurav Sinha 19 on 25, Ghulam Sheikh 15 on 25, Harish Golani 18 on 25, Hitesh Shah 24 on 25, Ishan Avasthi 3 on 25, Keval Talwar 23 on 25, Mahavir Sinha 18 on 25, Nimish Desai 19 on 25, Nitin Rao 16 on 25,
20 on 25, Hitesh Shah 24 on 25, Ishan Avasthi 2 on 25, Keval Talwar 22 on 25, Mahavir Sinha 19 on 25, Nimish Desai 17 on 25, Nitin Rao 18 on 25.
Good morning. Once again, this is Sharin Hayuma. Welcome back to my channel. This is in partial fulfillment of my course BSED English 1 and 2 performance task. In this video, we will analyze a film that has a connection to linguistics, specifically second language acquisition. We were given 3 movies. Perhaps these movies are for you. We have The Miracle Worker of 2000, directed by William Gibson. The second one is The Mockingbirds Don't Sing, directed by Harry Bromley Davenport. And the third film is Like Stars on Earth, Every Child is Special, directed by AAMHIR Khan. Among the 3, I have chosen AAMHIR Khan's movie, Like Stars on Earth. Before we jump into the exciting part, allow me to provide you a summary about this movie. The story took place in Mumbai, India. The main character is Ishan, an 8-year-old boy. The supporting characters are his teacher, Mr. Ram Nikon, Ishan's parents, Nan Kishore and Maya, his brother, Johan, his other school teachers, classmates, schoolmates, and his neighbors. This is a story about Ishan Awasthi, who has difficulty in learning. By this, he was assumed by all to hate learning and is belittled for it, and known as a very troublesome boy. His father, Nan Kishore, is a successful executive who expects his sons to excel, and his mother, Maya, is a homemaker who is frustrated by her inability to educate Ishan. Ishan's elder brother, Johan, is an exemplary student. One day, Ishan and his parents are called by Ishan's principal to discuss his failures in school. Fed up of hearing Ishan's failures and lack of improvement, Nan Kishore sends Ishan to a boarding school. Alone there, he rapidly sinks into a state of fear, depression, and anxiety. Of course, it was his first time separated by his parents. Separation anxiety, which was only worsened by the teachers there and their strict and abusive regime. So his only friend is Rajan, a physically disabled boy who is one of the top students and resides with his family there because his father is part of the school board. So Ishan contemplates suicide one day, but Rajan stopped him. Ram Shankar Nikond, a cheerful and optimistic instructor at the Tulips School for Young Children, joins the boarding school's faculty the same day, replacing the authoritarian Mr. Holkar, the school's former art teacher. So Ram's teaching style is markedly different from that of Holkar's, and he quickly notes Ishan's unhappiness that day after he fails to draw anything during the class. He reviews Ishan's work and concludes that his academic shortcomings are indicative of dyslexia. Ram then visits Ishan's house in Mumbai, where he was surprised to discover Ishan's hidden interest in art. His imagination, creativity, and talent for art and painting are disregarded by his father. Flustered, he demonstrates to Maya and Johan how Ishan has extreme difficulty in understanding letters and words due to the dyslexia he has, and his poverty in sports skills stems from his poor motor ability. His father labeled it as an intellectual disability and dismisses it as laziness. Back at school, Ram brings up the topic of dyslexia in a class by offering a list of people with dyslexia, a list of famous dyslexic people. He comforts Ishan, telling him he struggled as a child as well. Ram obtains the principal's permission to become Ishan's tutor. With gradual care, he works to improve Ishan's reading and writing by using dyslexia management remedial techniques developed by dyslexia specialists. Eventually, both Ishan's demeanor and his grades improve. One day, his father visits the school and tells Ram that he and Maya have read upon dyslexia and understood the condition. Ram mentions that what Ishan needs more than understanding, is that someone loves him. Outside, his father saw Ishan reading from a board. With teary eyes, he was unable to face his son and walks away. So at the end of the school year, Ram organizes an arts and crafts contest for the staff and students. Ishan's work made him the winner, and Ram, who paints Ishan's portrait, is declared the runner-up. So the principal announced that Ram has been hired as the school's permanent art teacher because he was a deputy teacher back then. So Ishan's parents meet his teachers on the last day of school. They are left speechless by the transformation in him. You can see in the film he was socializing, he was happy, wearing a wide smile. So overcome with emotions, his father thanks Ram. Before leaving, Ishan runs toward Ram, the teacher, who lifts him up in a big hug. And that's where the part that I cried hard. So if you're into emotional field movie content, add this to your list. Now, the exciting part. So we have learning conditions that hinder second language acquisition. We have learned about learning conditions that may or may not foster learning. We have social factors, environmental factors, age, learning style, learning preferences, learning pace, intelligences, just to name some. So in this video, I focus on the absence of macro skills due to dyslexia, social factors, teachers and parents' expectation, and the punishment. So one is the absence of macro skills. In Ino's case, Ino is Ishan's nickname. His hindrance in acquiring the second language is his dyslexia. His condition hampered the macro skills, the reading, writing, listening, and though he can speak English, as seen on one of the classroom scene where he told the teacher that the letters are dancing in his native language. So the teacher rebuked him to speak the English language, and he was able to speak. However, he has difficulty in spelling. So as per research, dyslexia has nothing to do with the learner's intelligence. Dyslexia is only a difficulty of learning, which was justified by the film. Ishan is incredibly good at arts but struggling academically. So for sure, 1 out of 10 individuals we know, there is always that someone who is so good academically but struggles in sports, arts, and other areas of life. I read a book, Chicken Soup for Soul. There was a page with a comic strip where 2 friends are skateboarding. Friend 1 fell. His body hurt his back, so he told his friend, "I'm just going to lay down a bit to lower down this swelling." Friend number 2 commented, "I don't understand. You backflip so well on video games." See, there are others who are good at video games and aren't good at actual performance. The same with others. They may be good at arts or sports and are not good at academics. However, in Ishan's case, as per research, dyslexic individuals' intelligence remain. They only have learning difficulties like reading, spelling, writing, and solving, and yet he excels in art, which is painting. So without the macro skills, the learner will not be able to learn the language in written form. But verbally, we saw in the film that he is fluent in speaking the English language. Not the entire movie, because it is actually portrayed in the English language. I mean during his English class, where Ishan was asked to read a certain paragraph and identify the adjectives. Next is the social or environmental factor. We learned in Ed 203, in a learner-centered classroom, the best way to identify it is that the teacher's table is located at the back of the classroom. So in the film, there was no interaction between the teacher and kids in the classroom in the movie, which I found it to be a traditional classroom environment. Furthermore, the teachers stood in front discussing while the learners are being receptive. So Ishan might not be inspired to take part in the English reading session because of this. When teachers compliment their students, it inspires them. When students believe that their efforts are yielding better results, they may be more motivated. So activities that are difficult and demand advanced performance from students will also increase their intrinsic motivation and mood while they are studying. So when engaging activities that are lacking, pupils become emotionally unhappy and bored. So we have the teacher's expectation. Ishan becomes agitated and loses interest in learning as a result of being taunted and mistreated by his teachers and occasionally dismissed from class because of misbehavior and teased by his classmates. So a teacher's reasonable expectation for their students can improve learning and have an impact on their academic performance. Student behavior reflects and upholds instructor behavior and norms. A teacher can express expectations by employing emotional cues like smiles, head nod, eye contact, and comments, positive or constructive comments when when they're settling with them. So another one is the parents' expectation. That's the fourth one. His father was a successful executive. His brother is an excellent student in all areas. So we can simply conclude that how frustrated Ishan is being compared to his brother, first hand from his father and next to his teachers, which was portrayed in the scene where a teacher said, "Who would have thought he is Johan's little brother?" So there is definitely something wrong with parenting here. I'm not a perfect parent, but comparing your kid to his sibling isn't just right. It creates jealousy and superiority. Good thing Johan is an appreciative brother and looks after Ishan. You see, Johan is Ishan's go-to person if he can't say anything to his mother or he needs help, like the fake absent letter Johan signed. Aside from comparison, never shame your child in front of other people. It will make them feel belittled and disrespected. Perhaps they'll mirror your actions in the future. So the last one is the punishment. At school, this scene shows him being punished by his math teacher because he is not paying attention. So punishment suppresses a response but doesn't eliminate it. When students are punished for misbehaving, they might repeat the wrongdoings when the reinforcer is removed. When the threat of punishment is removed, the misbehavior conduct may return. So punishment lessens the future likelihood of responding to a stimulus. Punishing may embody withdrawing a positive reinforcer or presenting a negative reinforcer following a response. So spanking a child for misbehaving may produce guilt and fear, which was suppressed behavior. So punishing can hinder learning by creating a conflict that may lead students to sway between responding one way or another. That is the proposal of Skunk in 2012. Upon knowing the learner's condition, the teacher, Mr. Nikon, proactively decided to be a hands-on teacher for Ishan because he too suffered learning back then. He used special techniques, which is really necessary in cases like this. They need extra time, effort, patience, and unique ways to assist them. It is actually my first time hearing the OG approach or the Orton Gillingham approach. So I googled it, links are provided in the description box. So the method is called multisensory instruction. Ishan was taught by his teacher through utilizing more than one sense And this multisensory approach has helped Ishan learn to read. As shown in the movie scenes, Mr. Nikom wrote the letter A in the sand, saying the vowel sound, in this case, ah, and then requested Ishan to repeat what he had done in order to reinforce the sounds of vowels, such as the letter A, for example. He then wrote the letter on Ishan's arm and asked him to determine what letter it was. Ishan was asked by Mr. Nikom to write the letters with colorful paint and shape them into modeling clay in order to practice consonants. So in order to practice counting the numbers, Ishan was asked to move up and down the stairs. So Ishan enhanced his comprehension in this way by using his sight, his hearing, and body movement, and of course the sense of touch. So another one is the phonic based. Additionally, Mr. Nikom offers a lesson that emphasizes a phonics based approach to learning how letters are connected to sounds and how to use this knowledge in reading. So he instructed Ishan to enunciate terms such as hat, tap, and mat, for instance. Then he gave each letter a word E ending and used once more requested Ishan to say the words. He teaches Ishan that each letter corresponds to a particular speaking sound in this way. So the other one is the sequential. Ishan is taught in a step-by-step manner by his teacher as he progresses from a basic lesson to a more difficult one, as Ishan gains his proficiency in each level of language abilities. For instance, when instructing Ishan, he began with vowels before moving to consonants, words, and then finally phrases. Additionally, he instructed Ishan to write the number 8 first in a larger shape and then in a smaller shape because it is simpler to write in the larger form. The term sequential refers to the teaching of ideas in a methodological arranged sequence, starting with the simplest form and most fundamental notions before moving on to a more challenging subjects. So next is the structured, systematic, and cumulative. So in order to show the connection between the content being taught and previously taught materials, the teacher offers information in a systematic manner. He also used integrative approaches to teach Ishan in a methodical manner, including hearing, reading, spelling, and writing all at once. So before asking Ishan to listen to a reporter, as shown in the film, as he read and repeated the sentences by reading them aloud, he asked Ishan to write as he dictated a sentence. He then checked to make sure Ishan had correctly spelled the sentence. So in addition, he taught in a cumulative manner, starting with letters, then words, and finally, eventually progressing to lengthy sentences employing the words he had previously taught. So that's it. Our movie by Amir Khan, Like Stars on Earth, Every Child is Special. So let us not compare our kids or learners to others because every child is unique, like stars. They shine bright on their own. And who knows, that kid is specially made. You just have to pay more attention, get to the bottom, and know the reasons behind.